Hey, True Talkers, it's Anna Garcia with this week's micro episode, Avoidance. Let's talk about something you're probably dealing with right now and maybe hoping it'll just work itself out or go away. That email you haven't sent, the conversation you kept pushing off, that decision you keep delaying. Let's really get real here. That's not timing, that's avoidance. And avoidance can feel like productive at sometimes. You tell yourself, I'll get to it. I just need more time. It's not the right moment, but let's be real here. That is temporary comfort, and the cost could be a long-term clarity. And I'll be honest, this is one I know well. I'm a girl who loves to wear a crown, but being the queen of avoidance, not my favorite flex, but also guilty. For years, I knew I wanted to build something of my own. I had the vision, I had the drive, but my avoidance sounded something like this. So let's see if it's familiar to you. Well, the money's good here. I do like what I do. I'm fine right where I am. I even used to say it would take a swift kick in the ass for me to finally make a move. And here's the truth. That kick, it doesn't come the way you expected or when you expect it. You either choose to move or you stay stuck explaining why you haven't. And I'm not the only one saying this. There's statistics out there, obviously, right? The Harvard Business Review found that 85% of employees avoid difficult conversations, even when they know it makes things worse. So, no, you're not alone. But avoidance doesn't remove the problem, it just gives it time to grow. In your career, avoidance can show up as staying silent when expectations aren't clear, holding on to roles that no longer align. How many of us are guilty of that, right? I know I stayed in a role for a long time, and it was because I was a mother and I had young kids and I was still going to school and I was still doing all these things. But it was holding me back, right? Because if you're staying in the same role for too long, you're not growing and you're not bringing more money for those kids or family. And then there's delaying decisions you've already made internally. I always tell people when I'm coaching, you know the answer. And that's because we do internalize a lot of things and we do understand ourselves a lot better than anyone else, but we don't always make those decisions out loud. And over time, it does cost you. It costs you momentum, it costs you your confidence, and it costs you a lot of opportunities. How many of you guys have turned down opportunities because you were waiting for the right timing or the right moment? Or haven't jumped into an opportunity that was highly visible because you thought it just wasn't meant to be at the moment? So, for this week, I have a question. What decision have you been postponing right now? And I say right now because I am not talking about later. I am not talking about next week. I'm talking about right now. What are you postponing or avoiding today? You don't need to fix everything today, but I do want you to take one step. You send that message that you've been waiting on or holding off on. You start the conversation that you just haven't had, whether it be with a coworker, colleague, your boss, or your family, whoever that conversation needs to start with. And you can also make a decision because sometimes the easiest thing to do is just to make that decision that we're holding back on because action breaks avoidance. The longer you avoid it, the heavier it becomes. And the moment you face it, you'll wonder why you waited so long because you start to feel that relief, that weight off your shoulders. So I'm going to ask you again, what action will you be taking? Let us know. And remember, no fluff, no filters, just true talk.